All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I've got some crazy stuff basically I just saw on the chart, so I thought I'd talk about it. Right, obviously I've talked about how we were kind of overbought and we're going to come in for a correction. We've come in for a correction, and I've started looking at so I'm kind of going back into it just to kind of tell you. So I've started looking at the hourly charts and the 4 hourly charts, right, and I can see there's a bit of positivity, right? Everything looking good, but we've come to a particular area where we're finding a little bit of resistance, and that's very interesting to note, right? Especially on the 4 hourly, right? You got to see this, right? And that will make total sense to you, and then I'll kind of zoom out to show you what's going on, right? So have a look at this. Let me just flip the camera, right? So that's my camera flipped. This is what I'm seeing. So this area here is where the resistance is happening. You can see this has been followed through from here, right? So this is where the resistance is happening. Now this area, we drew this like, I don't know, last week sometime or week before sometime, we drew this, and you're probably seeing another zone here, and I'll talk about this zone as well, but on a higher time frame. So let me just quickly go to that higher time frame, then it will make sense, right? So if I go to daily, it will make more sense, right? I'm going to condense this a little bit, bring it up, right? So this is where the resistance is currently being faced. You can see this is what we failed from. This area is where we would find support, hopefully, because of all of these candles in the back there. So if you see on the daily, you can see this is the major support area, right? So I've kind of marked it with this this kind of a box that I drew a box within a box and tried to find where my biggest major area, oh shit, I just realized, biggest major areas, sorry, my kickstand. So this is where I see the major area now. But if you do look at the RSI, you can see the RSI is pointing down, which means, guys, we could see a little bit more downwards movement. Now when I talk about downward movement, there's actually a reason behind this. So if I move into the weekly, it will make more sense, right? So on the weekly, you can see not many candles here, and this is what I'm expecting for the the support area. That's the resistance on the top. But if you look carefully here, you can see how these are pointing down, right? These are pointing down. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily come all the way down to the bottom for us to start being positive again, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this downward momentum, which means that we could going down. So let me put the camera back, right? Let me put the camera back and continue talking to you guys, right? And I'm going to also take my seatbelt off because I realized I didn't take my seatbelt off, right? So when I look at this, to me it says just be calm, right? Just be calm, enjoy the red, right? I always say enjoy the pumps. Of course, enjoy the pumps, but enjoy the reds even more. They're opportunities, right? I'm not going to go around saying buy the dips, because you buy the dip when we dip, and then we're going to be bouncing back up again. But on a larger time frame, on a weekly time frame, when we're seeing this kind of a correction, we don't say buy the dip. I won't say buy the dip, right? I'll say wait for that red candle to be as bloody as is possible, right? Because when there's bloods on the street, that's when you want to be buying. You are going to make the maximum amount of gain from the maximum amount of blood, right? Maximum amount of red, right? That's the whole logic behind this, right? So I want everybody to focus on what's going on in the market. Start looking at the higher time frames. Yes, the lower time frames are showing bullish, fine. Hourly bullish, no problem. But it's hitting that resistance level, right? And on that area where we drew the box, right, a week ago, maybe a little bit longer, but we drew this. So that's where we're facing resistance right now. We're facing for our support, we're looking at the 37k level is our support zone right now. So that's what we're focusing on. Let's see how that plays out. But remember, some of these things, they don't happen overnight, right? So of course the hourly stuff can happen within a few hours. The 4 hourly stuff will happen. So all of that bullishness is fine. I'm not looking at those. I'm ignoring them for now, right? I'm just looking at the fun fact where the resistance is happening. It's like virtually impossible for it to happen exactly at that level, but that's exactly what's happening, right? Remember, we don't do predictions, we do projections, right? So on the daily, again, looking good, right? Looking good. I see a good candle, but the weekly is telling me something else. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on the larger time frame, on the bigger ones, right? I am going to move into my moving average, right? So I'm going to move into the moving average. I'm going to look at my 21-week moving average. I'm going to look at my 20-week exponential moving average. I'm going to look at those. All of those things I'm going to look at. but I'm going to look at it on a weekly time frame. And so far, when I have looked at it previously, like a couple of days ago when I looked at it, I can tell you this much: we're still in the uptrend, right? So the trend hasn't changed. So we do know that we're still bullish, right? The trend reversal has not happened. There's nothing major. So we're not looking at a 50-60% dump here. So that's a good confirmation to have using the moving averages, right? When we move into the daily stuff, of course, that's where things were a bit heated up, right? That's where things were a bit heated up. And if we start seeing a little bit of negativity, start seeing a little bit of red, it's absolutely fine. Guys, we need reds. Market cannot be green all the time. Every day, every week, it cannot be green. Unless we see some red, we don't know how dangerous the dumps are going to be. So the reds are good for us, right? So this is what I'm trying to say. This is not financial advice, by the way, guys. I don't want to give you any financial advice, right? But what I'm telling you is when we get the reds, it gives us a break. And a break usually makes a support. And a support is very important for any uptrends, right? Any uptrend. So let's see what happens. I'm getting loads of notifications from No Central Discord. Basically, someone's come to the server and started pushing NSFW or whatever you call it, and a whole bunch of XXX stuff, right? Discord servers or whatnot. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, good luck, right? I'm sure there's a bunch of scammers sitting there to take your details. But yeah, so some of the moderators are trying to block them, but they're still coming on. That's the reality of any public server, right? Any public server where people find the links, they'll come and they'll drop whatever they want. You know what? I don't really care. Good luck to you, right? I'm not getting involved in the politics of stuff, right? Anyway, leave that aside. So let's go back to the market. So when I do see the market, I see some of the coins, right? When I'm looking at like the broader scale of all the crypto in the market, the bubbles and whatnot, if you look at them, right? Yes, the altcoins there are some altcoins who are pumping really hard. They're doing really good. But all of that also tells me to be a bit cautious. Now, cautious why? And I'll explain to you. A lot of these projects that are pumping right now are doing some very big marketing campaigns on Twitter and XYZ, right? And I'm just wondering why? Why now? Why didn't you do that on the bottom of the market? Because if you did it on the bottom of the market, a lot of people would have bought up your coins and people would have benefited a lot more, right? Why are you doing it now? So that's what I'm thinking. Like, you know, maybe the reasons are very good, like very humble. I don't know. But I still play cautiously, because when I see that, I know the reverse side of that is that someone's going to dump on you. Good news means a good dump on you, right? Full stop, right? So this is how, you know, the trading works, right? If you're gonna see good news in something, in stocks, bonds, shares, whatever, remember someone's getting ready to take a big dump shit on you, like big shit on you. So please understand this, right? But yeah, other than that, red candles are very important for us. We need red candles. Red candles give us the maximum gain, right? I know a lot of you guys always talk about like, oh, I can't buy the bottom, or I missed the bottom and this and that. If you can get rid of your fear is your worst enemy. If you can get rid of your fear and say, right, I'm going to buy only the reds, right? And I'm going to buy on the biggest red available, you're going to do good. You're going to do good. Of course, it doesn't apply to all the cryptocurrencies. It doesn't apply to 99% of all the cryptocurrency out there, probably 99.99% now, because of how many cryptocurrencies we have. But the truth is that's how it works, right? You know, you basically need to be able to find the top gems or the most legit coins out there, buy the red, and then just sit on it and watch what happens, right? That's the most important thing. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. I think I've said a lot of stuff about the channel and how I'm going to rebrand everything and rechange everything, and my new kind of a mission to showcase myself more, right? Because I've always been there, but I just never ever acknowledged it, right? And that's what I'm going to do. So I've talked about this. You can see many videos ago we've talked about it. Other than that, I can't really, this is another important thing as well, guys. I can't tell you what the market's going to do, say in a few days, or what the market's going to do in a few weeks. I can't tell you that yet until I get some confirmations from the candles, right? So I need daily confirmations, I need weekly confirmations. I would prefer the weekly ones, because the weekly one is going to be the bigger, more stronger data for me. So I am going to be looking at that. But other than that, when that does come, I will definitely post something. If I see something on the market, something crazy, I will definitely post it. Right now the market's pumping. We're currently at 41,865. What's the time? Time now is 3:17. It's a Wednesday, 3:17 Wednesday. Whatever today's date is, December the 12th or the 13th, I can't remember. I think it's the 13th today. So yeah, looking good. But again, we need to give it enough time for this candle to be, and by the way, this candle by the weekend could easily become a green candle, right? And it could become a very green, positive, strong candle, giving a signal that the trend is still here and we're not going to do a correction right now. This candle could do that, right? So I need confirmation though. Without confirmation, there's no way I'm going to put my reputation on the line. I'm not going to say what I say, right? So we'll keep that private. And let's see how things go from there. But yeah, other than that, guys, if you're new to the channel, I hope you like the content. Here you're going to get like me being unfiltered, right? Or I call it unleashed or whatever. There's nothing barred here. I'll talk about anything, and if I have anything on my mind, I'll offload it, right? I'm not one of those YouTubers who's afraid to say certain things. I'm not afraid, right? My channel's not monetized. I don't give a damn about monetization. I'm not selling anything to you, so I've got nothing to gain from you, right? So there's so many different things that would prevent a person from saying certain things. I'm not that guy, right? I'll happily say, of course, anything that may ban the video, I will definitely stay off that, because ultimately kind of defeats the purpose. I'm making a video to give you information and to talk to you guys, but if I then get myself banned completely off YouTube, then defeats the purpose. Then there's no point in me doing it in the first place, right? So other than that, anything else unfiltered, I'll talk about it. I don't have an issue, right? And I hope you guys appreciate this. So if you do, show some love, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'm going to catch you on another one very soon. Yeah, other than that, adios.